All right, we are we are recording. We are going to hey everybody, Yeet, and these are my friends Bitey, and FOMO. Uh, we're gonna do a live read of the cinema classic, The Princess Bride.
Are we live right now?
We're gonna do it right now. I mean we're live, but we didn't tell anybody.
Oh,
We're recording it.
okay. So nobody's watching us.
I mean, people, no one's watching us. They
Cool.
could be, but they don't know. No one knows.
Right.
So, this is we're gonna do this from the shooting script and fade in a video game on a computer screen, and then a sick coughing sound. There's a kid lying in bed. Cut to the kid's mother as she enters, goes to him, fluffs his pillows, kisses him, and briefly feels his forehead. Are you feeling any better?
A little bit.
Guess what?
What?
Your grandfather's here.
Mom, can't you tell him I'm sick?
You are sick. That's why he's here.
He'll pinch my cheek. I hate that.
Maybe he won't.
No, he'll do it. I can't find the script. Things got weird. Hang on.
Cut to the kid's grandfather bursting into the room, kind of rumpled. His eyes are bright. He has a wrapped package tucked under one arm as he immediately goes to the kid and pinches his cheek.
Hey! How's the sticky, huh?
I think I'll leave you two pals.
I brought you a special present.
What is it?
Open it up.
A book?
That's right. When I was your age, television was called books. And this is a special book. It was a book my father used to read to me when I was sick. And I used to read it to your father. And today, I'm going to read it to you.
Has it got any sports in it?
Cut the grandfather, suddenly passionate.
Are you kidding? Fencing, fighting, torture, revenge, giants, monsters, chases, escapes, true love, miracles.
It doesn't sound too bad. I'll try and stay awake.
Oh, well, thank you very much. That's very nice of you. Your vote of confidence is overwhelming. All right. The Princess Bride by S. Morgenstein. Chapter 1. Buttercup was raised on a small farm in the country of Florida.
Dissolve 2. The story he's reading about as the monochromatic look of the bedroom is replaced by the dazzling color of the English countryside.
Her favorite pastimes were riding a horse and tormenting the farm boy that worked there. His name was Wesley, but she never called him that. Isn't that a wonderful beginning?
Yeah, it's really good.
Nothing gave Buttercup as much pleasure as ordering Wesley around.
Hey, guys, who's Buttercup?
You are.
Oh, okay.
Wesley.
Boy, polish my horse's saddle. I want to see my face shining in it by morning.
As you wish.
Wesley is perhaps half a dozen years older than Buttercup, and maybe as handsome as she is beautiful. He gazes up at her as she walks away. As you wish was all he ever said to her.
Wesley outside chopping wood. Hi-ya! Hi-ya!
Farm boy, fill these with water. Please.
As you wish.
She leaves. His eyes stay on her. She stops, turns. He manages to look away, as now her eyes stay on him. That day, she was amazed to discover that when he was saying, "As you wish," what he meant was, "I love you."
Wesley enters with an armload of firewood.
And even more amazing was the day she realized she truly loved him back.
Farm boy, fetch me that pitcher.
He
As
gets
you
it.
wish.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Now he turns and moves outside.
Dissolve too, Wesley and Buttercup outside his tiny hovel. At the red glow of the sunset, they are locked in a passionate kiss.
Hold it! Hold it! What is this? Are you trying to trick me? Where's the sports? Is this a kissing book?
Wait, just wait.
Well, when does it get good?
Keep your shirt on. Let me read. Wesley had no money for marriage, so he packed his few belongings and left the farm to seek his fortune across the sea. It was a very emotional time for Buttercup.
I don't believe this! I fear I'll never see you again.
Of course you will.
But what if something happens to you?
Hear this now. I will come for you.
But how can you be sure?
This is true love. You think this happens every day?
He smiles at her. She smiles too, throwing her arms so tightly around him. They kiss. Then, as Wesley walks away, Buttercup watches him go. Wesley didn't reach his destination. His ship was attacked by the dread pirate Roberts, who never left captains alive. When Buttercup got the news that Wesley was murdered, I'm
looking out the window. Murder by pirates is good!
It's so good! It's so good! She went to her room and shut the door, and for days she neither slept nor ate.
I will never love again.
Dissolve 2. Florin Castle Day. The main courtyard of Florin, replete with townspeople, livestock, and a bustling marketplace. 5 years later, the main square of Florin City was filled as never before to hear the announcement of the great Prince Humperdinck's bride-to-be. Who's Humperdinck?
I'm
Let's go for it.
Can't you tell I got a crown?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My people, a month from now, our country will have its 500th anniversary. On that sundown, I shall marry a lady who was once a commoner like yourselves. But perhaps you will not find her common now. Would you like to meet her?
Yes! 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 You're taking this!
A giant stairwell leading to the crowd, and a figure just becomes visible. Cut to the crowd as they see the figure. We haven't yet. And if such a thing is a collective action, then this crowd collectively holds its breath. Cut to the stairwell as the figure appears in the archway. It is Buttercup, and she resplendent.
My people, the Princess Buttercup.
She descends the stairs and starts to move amongst the people. Cut to the crowd, and they do a very strange thing with no instruction at all. They begin to go to their knees. Great waves of people kneeling, and cut to Buttercup, terribly moved. She stands immobile amongst her subjects, blinking back tears. Hold on her beauty for a moment.
I can't blink. I don't have eyelids.
An unfortunate affliction.
Yeah.
Buttercup's emptiness consumed her. Although the law of the land gave Humperdinck the right to choose his bride, she did not love him. Cut 2. Woodlands and Buttercup, barreling along, controlling her horse easily. Despite Humperdinck's reassurance that she would grow to love him, the only joy she found was in her daily ride.
A wooded glen, close to sundown. A word, my lady.
Cut 2. 3 men standing close to the path. Beyond them might be seen the waters of Florin Channel. The 3 men are not your everyday commuter types.
Commuters?
Why would you make a reference to commuter types?
Great, love it.
Standing in front of is a tiny man with the most angelic face. Wallace Shawn, very angelic. He is
My favorite actor.
He is Sicilian, and his name is Vicini. Beside him is a Spaniard, erect and taut as a blade of steel. His name is Indigo Montoya. Beside him is a giant. His name is Fezzik.
We are but poor, lost circus performers. Is there perhaps a village nearby?
There's nothing nearby. Not for miles.
And there will be no one to hear you scream.
He nods to the giant Fezzik, who merely reaches over, touches a nerve on Buttercup's neck, and the start of a scream as she manages, unconsciousness comes that fast. As she starts to fall, cut 2, a little boat. We're getting on the little boat. Fezzik carries Buttercup, unconscious, on board. Vicini rips a tiny piece of fabric from the jacket and tucks it amongst Buttercup's horse. There is about the entire operation a sense of tremendous skill and precision.
What is that you are ripping?
It is a fabric from the uniform of an army officer of Gilder.
Who is Gilder?
The country across the sea. The sworn enemy of Florin.
Slaps the horse.
Go! Hiya! Ya-ya!
The horse takes off. They start for the boat.
Once the horse reaches the castle, the fabric will make the prince suspect the Gilderians have abducted his love, and when he finds her body dead on the Gilder frontier, his suspicions will be totally confirmed. Ha ha!
You never said anything about killing anyone.
Vicini hops onto the boat.
Boop. I've hired you to help me start a war. That's a prestigious line of work with a long and glorious tradition.
I just don't think it's right. Killing an innocent girl.
Am I going mad? Or did you think? Use the word think? Did that escape your lips? You are not hired for your brains, you hippopotamic landmass.
I agree with Fezzik.
Close up.
Fizzini.
In a fury.
In a fury. We only thought he was in a fury. Now he's really getting mad. Oh! The Sot has spoken. What happens to her is not truly your concern. I will kill her. I will kill her. And remember this. Never forget this.
Cut 2, Indigo and Fezzik. As Vicini advances on them, nothing shows on Indigo's face.
When I found you, you were so slobbering drunk, you couldn't buy brandy. Now to Fezzik, who retreats as much as he can while Vicini advances. And you, friendless, brainless, helpless, hopeless. Do you want me to send you back to where you were? Unemployed? In Greenland?
Vicini glares at him and then turns, leaves. During this, Indigo has gone close to Fezzik, who is very distressed at the insults he has just received, as Indigo casts off.
That Vicini, he can fuss.
Fuss. I think he likes to scream at us.
Probably he means no harm.
she's really very short on charm.
Oh, you've a great gift for rhyme.
Yes, some of the time.
Enough of that! No more!
As they sail off, we hear their voices as the boat recedes.
Fezzik, are there rocks ahead?
If there are, we'll all be dead.
No more rhymes! No more rhymes, I mean it!
Anybody want a peanut?
Ah!
Dissolve 2. The sailboat races across the dark waters. Indigo at the helm. Fezzik stands near the body of the princess, whose eyelids flutter slightly. Or do they?
We don't have eyelids!
We don't have eyelids.
No eyelids.
Flutter.
The waves are higher, and there are only occasional flashes of the moon slanting down between the clouds.
We'll reach the cliffs by dawn.
Indigo nods, glances back.
What? Why are you doing that?
Making sure nobody's following us.
But that would be inconceivable.
Despite what you think, you will be caught, and when you are, the prince will see you all hanged.
Of all the necks on this boat, Highness, the one you should be worrying about is your own!
Indigo keeps staring behind them.
Stop doing that! We can all relax, it's almost over.
You're sure nobody's following us?
As I told you, it would be absolutely, totally, and in all other ways inconceivable. No one in Gilder knows what we've done. And no one in Florin could have gotten here so fast. Out of curiosity, though, why do you ask?
No reason. It's only I just happened to look behind us and something is there.
What?
Cut 2, the darkness behind them. It's hard to see. The moon is behind the clouds now.
Who's playing the darkness?
Well, we got
I attack the darkness!
Ah! Suddenly, it's gone. Ominous. Cut 2, the darkness behind them. It's still ominous. Now it's eerie too. Then the moon slips through, and Indigo is right. Something is still very much there. A sailboat. Black. Great billowing sails. Black. A good distance between them, but it's coming like hell. Closing the gap.
It's probably just a local fisherman out for a pleasure cruise at night in eel-infested waters.
And now a sound comes from the boat as they turn to cut. Buttercup diving into the water, starting to swim away.
Get it! Get her!
I don't swim.
I only doggy paddle.
Veer left!
Cut 2, Buttercup, still close to the boat, switching to a crawl to a silent breaststroke. The wind dies, and as it does, something new is heard. A not so distant, high-pitched, shrieking sound. Buttercup stops suddenly, treading water.
Do you know what that sound is, Highness? Those are the shrieking eels. If you doubt me, just wait. They always grow louder when they're about to feast on human flesh.
Buttercup, treading water, still not far from the boat. The shrieking sounds are getting louder and more terrifying. Buttercup stays silent.
If you swim back now, Princess, I promise no harm will come to you. I doubt you will get such an offer from the eels!
Buttercup, and she's a gutsy girl. The shrieking sound is louder still. She doesn't make a sound. Behind her now, something dark and gigantic slithers past. She's scared, sure, petrified. Who wouldn't be? But she makes no reply, and now a shrieking eel has zeroed in on her. Circling, becoming closer. Buttercup is frozen. The eel slithers forward, closer, And now the eel opens its mouth wide and makes such a sound. Its great jaws are about to clamp down. She doesn't get eaten by the eels at this time.
The sick kid's room. The kids look the same, pale and weak, and maybe he's gripping the sheets a little too tightly.
What?
The eel doesn't get her. I'm explaining to you because you look nervous.
Well, I wasn't nervous. Maybe I was a little bit concerned, but that's not the same thing.
Because I can stop now if you want.
No, you can read a little bit more if you want.
Do you know what that sound is, Your Highness?
Those are the shrieking eels.
We're past that, Grandpa!
Oh my goodness.
You read it already.
I'm sorry. Beg your pardon. All right. Let's see. She was in the water. The eel was coming after her. She was frightened. The eel started to charge, and then cut two.
Giant arm. Pounding the eel unconscious in one move. Then easily lifting Buttercup. Pull back to reveal the boat and Fezzik. Buttercup being deposited on the deck. Vicini. Put her down. Just put her down!
I think he's getting closer.
I'm going to tie her hands up here. He's no concern of ours. Sail on! Buttercup, I suppose you think you're brave, don't you?
Only compared to some.
Dissolve 2. The boat at dawn, closely followed by the black sail, and for the first time being sailed by a man in black. His boat.
It's Johnny Cash.
Look, he's right on top of us. I wonder if he's using the same wind we are using.
Whoever he is, he's too late! See? The cliffs of insanity!
Cut 2.
The cliffs of insanity!
They rise straight up, sheer from the water, impossibly high. We cut to the boat being pursued.
Hurry up, move the thing! Oh, the other thing, move it now! We're safe. Only Fezzik is strong enough to go our way. He'll have to sail around for hours till he finds a harbor. There's much activity going on, all of it swift, except expert, economical. Fezzik reaches up along the cliff face, grabs a jutting rock, reaches behind it. Suddenly, there's a thick rope in his hands. He drops back to the boat and gives the rope a free swing, and the rope goes all the way to the top. They climb up the piece, and then he starts to ascend the rope, carrying them all along with him as he goes. The man in black sailing in towards the cliffs of insanity, watching as Fezzik rises swiftly through the first moments of dawn.
I'm so scared!
The top of the cliffs, looking down. Fezzik's group is only faintly visible far below. This is the first time we've gotten the real vertigo feeling, and it's a gasper!
It's a gasper!
Gasper!
Fezzik climbing on. Buttercup is almost out of her mind with fear. Cut to the entire lengths of the cliffs. However high they are, he's already over a third of the way done. Cut back to the man in black, Johnny Cash. He's playing on his guitar. Leaping from his ship, starting to climb. He's impossibly far behind. The way he goes, you'd think he didn't know that because he's flying up a rope, hand over hand, like lightning on a guitar.
He's climbing the rope, and he's gaining on us.
In conceive a bull.
Climb.
The man in black roaring up the rope, long shot the cliffs, and the man in black is cutting deeply into Fezzik's lead. Cut to Zini and the others. Faster! Fezzik! Faster!
I thought I was going faster.
You were supposed to be this colossus! You were this great legendary thing, and yet he gains!
Well, I'm carrying 3 people. He only got himself.
I don't accept excuses! I am just going to have to find myself a new giant. That's all.
Don't say that, Vicini, please.
His arms begin moving much more slowly. Cut to the man in black. His arms still work as before. If anything, he has speeded up. Fezzik's lead is smaller and smaller. The view through the top of the cliff. Maybe 100 feet for Fezzik to go. Maybe more. Cut to Vicini and the others, and it's getting too close now. Have I made it clear that your job is at stake? There will be a 360 review after this, and I promise you, low scores across the board!
They climb. They get to the top.
They cut the rope.
Bloop.
Cut to the man in black. Feet from the top now, maybe less, only 50 feet.
The rope. He cuts it through the left. Vicini cuts through the last of the rope, and the rope slithers across the ground, out of sight, towards the channel, like some great serpent on its last, going home. Cut to Fezzik, standing with Inigo and Buttercup by the cliff edge.
He has very good arms.
Cut to the man in black, hanging, suspended, hundreds of feet in the air, holding to the jagged rocks, desperately trying to cling to life. Vicini, stunned, turns to the others, look down. He didn't fall. Inconceivable.
You keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means. My God, he's climbing!
The man in black, and so he is, very slowly, he's making his way upward, sometimes a foot at a time, sometimes an inch. The group at the top staring down. Whoever he is, he's obviously seen us with the princess, and therefore must die. Fezzik, you carry her. Inigo, we'll head straight for the Gilder frontier. Catch up when he's dead. If he falls, fine. If not, the sword.
Indigo nods.
I want to do him left-handed.
You know what a hurry we're in.
Well, it's the only way I can be satisfied. If I use my right, over too quickly.
Have it your way.
Cut to the man in black, still creeping his way upward. Cut to Fezzik, who goes to Indigo. You be careful. Men in masks cannot be trusted.
I'm waiting!
Fezzik nods, hurrying after Vicini. Cut to Indigo. He watches them depart and turns, peering down over the cliffs. He watches a moment, paces, shaking his hands loose. He practices a few honed fencing skill. He is a taut and nervous fellow, and has never been one for waiting around. Cut to Indigo, walking away. This is our two heroes meeting. They don't know it yet, but that's what this is.
Hello there. Slow going?
Look, I don't mean to be rude, but this is not as easy as it looks. So I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't distract me.
Sorry.
Thank you.
I step away and draw my sword. Loosening with a few thrusts.
They're perfect, those thrusts.
I do not suppose you could speed things up?
If you're in such a hurry, you could lower a rope or a tree branch or find something useful to do.
I could do that. In fact, I've got some rope up here. But I do not think you will accept my help, since I am only waiting around to kill you.
That does put a damper on our relationship.
I promise I will not kill you until you reach the top.
Oh, that's very comforting. But I am afraid you'll have to wait.
I hate waiting. I could give you my word as a Spaniard.
Oh, that is no good. I have met too many Spaniards.
You don't know any way you'll trust me?
Nothing comes to mind.
On those words, camera zooms into a close-up on Indigo. He raises his right hand high. His eyes blaze and his eyes takes a tone you have not heard before.
I swear, on the soul of my father, Domingo Montoya, you will reach the top alive.
Throw me the rope.
He dashes to the giant rope, the giant rock the rope was originally tied to. Indigo throws the small coil of rope, hurries back to the edge. Cut to Indigo straining, forcing the man in black's body away from the cliffside, and the man in black rising through the early morning light slowly, steadily. Indigo, watching the man in black crawl to safety, looks to Indigo.
Thank you.
We'll wait until you are ready.
Again, thank you. You just sit down here on this boulder here. Drop several large rocks out of my shoes. The man in black wears gloves. Indigo stares at them. Why are you staring at my hands, man?
I do not mean to pry, but you don't by any chance happen to have 6 fingers on your right hand?
Do you always begin conversations this way?
My father, he was slaughtered by a 6-fingered man. He was a great sword maker, my father. And when the 6-fingered man appeared and requested a special sword, my father took the job. He slaved a year before he was done. See this sword, the pretty sword that my dad made? Hang on, I dropped it in my nose.
I'm gonna fondle it.
Don't be gross with my sword.
I have never seen its equal.
The 6-fingered man, he returned and demanded it, but at 1/10 its original price. My father refused. Without a word, the 6-fingered man slashed him through the heart. I loved my father, so naturally, I challenged his murderer to a duel. I failed. The 6-fingered man did leave me alive with the 6-fingered sword, but he gave these.
He touches his scars.
To me.
But how old were you?
I was 11 years old. When I was strong enough, I dedicated my life to the study of fencing. So, the next time we meet, I will not fail. I will go up to the 6-fingered man and say, "Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die."
You've done nothing but study swordplay.
More pursuit than study lately. You see, I cannot find him. It's been 20 years now. I'm 31. I am starting to lose confidence. I just work for Vizzini to pay the bills. There's not a lot of money in revenge.
Here, take back this great sword. Well, I certainly hope you find him someday.
You are ready then?
Whether I am or not, you've been more than fair.
You seem a decent fellow. I hate to kill you.
You seem a decent fellow. I hate to die.
Begin!
And on that word, the two of them, what we are starting now is one of those great sword fights of the modern movies. Because they aren't close to each other. None of that sword crossing on guard garbage. What we have is two men, two athletes, and they look to be too far away to damage each other. But each time one makes the tiniest feint, the other counters. And there's a silence as they begin to circle. Cut to the 6-fingered sword, feinting there, feinting here. The two men, finish teasing, begin the duel in earnest.
We duel, duel, and then we start talking again.
You are using Bonetti's defense against me, huh?
I thought it fitting, considering the rocky terrain.
Naturally, you must expect me to attack with Capoferro.
Naturally. But I find Thibault cancels out Caballero, don't you?
Unless the enemy has studied his Agrippa,
which I have.
The two men almost flying across the rocky terrain, never losing balance, never coming close to stumbling. The battle rages with incredible finesse. First, the other gain an advantage, and then the other. These aren't just two athletes going at it. It's more than that. This is two legendary swashbucklers in their prime. It's Burt Lancaster and the Crimson Pirate. You know that movie, kid. Battling
It's the Burt Lancaster! It's the Burt Lancaster! All right.
And
you are wonderful!
Thank you. I've worked hard to become so.
I
It's
admit
very close.
You are better than I am.
Then why are you smiling?
Because I know something you don't know.
And what is that?
I am not left-handed!
He throws the six-fingered sword into his right hand, and immediately the tide of the battle turns.
You're amazing!
I ought to be, after 20 years.
There's something I ought to tell you.
Tell me.
I'm not left-handed either.
And he changes hands, and at last, the battle is fully joined.
And this is when I get to do. The stunt guy comes in because I'm super not going to do this. I have to do like a parkour move and then like flip. It's super crazy.
Yeah. Who are you?
I'm no one of consequence.
I must know.
Get used to disappointment. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Indigo, moving like lightning, pressed forward, slashes the man in black, dodging, blacking, but cut to Indigo. There's never a move anyone he doesn't seem to remember. This time he blocks the slash downward, and as it goes back and forth, Indigo begins moving with the strength of a great improvisational dancer. The six-finger sword is knocked free, arching in the air, and...
Kill me! Quickly!
I would as soon destroy a stained glass window as an artist like yourself. However, since I can't have you following me either, punk, please understand, I hold you in the highest regard.
He grabs the standard.
Inconceivable! Vicini staring down from a narrow mountain path as far below as the man in black can be seen running. Fezzik carrying the princess stands alongside. It's a little later in the morning. Give her to me. Catch up with us quickly.
What do I do?
Finish him. Finish him your way.
Oh, good.
Like Burger King. Your way.
There's rocks nearby.
Which way is my way?
See the rocks? A couple of big ones. They're nearby.
Pick up one of those rocks. Get behind the boulder. And in a few minutes, the man in black will come running around the bend. The minute his head is in view, hit it with a rock.
My way's not very sportsmanlike.
Dissolve to the man in black, racing up the mountain trail. Ahead is a bend in the trail. He sees it, slows, and then he stops, listening. A rock flies into frame, shattering the boulder inches in front of him.
I did that on purpose. I didn't have to miss.
I believe you. What happens now?
We face each other, as God intended. Sportsmanlike. No tricks, no weapons. Skill against skill alone.
You mean you'll put down your rock and I'll put down my sword, and we'll try to kill each other like civilized people?
I could kill you now.
He's gonna throw the rock, but the man in black is like, no, don't do that. And he takes off his sword and goes up to Fezzik.
Frankly, I think the odds are slightly in your favor at hand fighting.
It's not my fault being the biggest and the strongest. I don't even exercise.
I mean, I do. CrossFit, Peloton.
So here's the thing. they do some fighting, and then the man in black dives at his chest and slams him with some blows in the stomach, and then there's some arm twisting and bear hugging, and in general,
fiddling around with me or what?
Good wrestling.
I just don't want you to feel. I just want you to feel like you're doing well. I hate for people who die embarrassed.
They fight some more.
You're quick.
And a good thing too.
Why are you wearing a mask? Were you burned by acid? Something like that?
Oh no, it's just that they're terribly comfortable. I think everyone will be wearing them in the future, especially the years 2019, 2020, 2021, unless you're an asshole. Wear a fucking mask!
And then Fezzik attacks again, and he's really fast, and they're weaving in and out, and blah, blah, blah. And then the man in black jumps onto Fezzik's back and starts giving him a headlock.
I just figured out why you give me so much trouble.
And the Fezzik's gonna back into a huge rock with the man in black on his back.
Why is that, do you think?
Well, I haven't fought just one person for so long. I've been specializing in groups, battling gangs for charity, that kind of thing.
What? Should that make such a difference?
Well, you see, you use different moves when you're fighting half a dozen people than when you only have to be worried about one.
And the Fezzik slams him into a rock.
Boom.
And then Fezzik stops breathing. And then he stands up, and then he falls down and stuff.
I don't envy you the headache you will have when you awake. But, in the meantime, rest well. And dream of large women, whatever it is that gets your thing going. May they be big.
Big bottom girls. Dream of big bottom girls.
Big bottom girls.
Make the rocket world go round.
All right. Who's Rugen?
Me.
FOMO.
All right. Rock and roll. So we cut back and Humperdinck. Humperdinck.
Humperdinck. That's you, Yeet.
Yeet.
I need to get the little crown.
Yeah, he's got to put his hat on.
Okay, all right.
It's not going to stay, but
Okay.
Why don't you go to the craft services table while we wait?
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, get a snack.
How you doing? How you doing, buddy?
I'm good.
Good.
How are you?
Good. Just keep it limber.
got to keep them limber. Yeah, there we go.
Yellow leather, orange leather, orange leather, orange leather, orange leather.
All right. There was a mighty duel here. It raged all over. They were both masters.
Who won? How did it end?
The loser ran off alone. The winner followed those footprints towards Gilda.
Shall we track them both?
The loser is nothing. Only the princess matters. Clearly, this was all planned by warriors of Gilda. We must be ready for whatever lies ahead.
Could this be a trap?
Aha! I vaulted on a horse. I always think everything can be a trap, which is why I'm still alive. Ah!
So then the man in black is running over some mountains, and we close up on a knife pointed at a throat. Pull back. It's Vizzini. He's eating an apple. He's holding the knife to Buttercup's throat. She is blindfolded. There's a picnic, there's wine, 2 goblets, leather wine container, cheese, apples, nom nom nom. Man in black comes in view, and
it's a whole lot of yeet.
I've been waiting my whole life for this moment.
All right, we can sit down. Beauty, Fighty, we can take a nap. We can hang out.
So it is down to you, and it is down to me. If you wish her dead, by all means, keep moving forward.
He pushes the knife harder against her throat.
Let me explain. There's nothing to explain. You're trying to kidnap what I've rightfully stolen. Perhaps an arrangement can be met. There will be no arrangement. And you're killing her!
Then he jabs with the knife. She has.
And then the internet. The man in black stops. But then if there can be no arrangement, we are in an impasse. I'm afraid so. I can't compete with you physically, and you're no match for my brains. You're that smart. Let me put it this way. Have you ever heard of Plato? Aristotle? Socrates? Yes. Morons! Really? In that case, I challenge you to a battle of wits. For the princess.
The man in black nods.
To the death.
Another nod.
To the death. I accept. Good. Then pour the wine.
They pour the wine.
And then Vizzini pulls wine goes in goblets. Man in black takes packet from his clothing, hands to Vizzini.
Inhale this, but do not touch. I smell nothing. It must be a LaCroix flavor. One do not smell called iocane powder. It is odorless, tasteless, dissolves instantly in liquid, and is among the more deadly poisons known to man.
So Vizzini watches very interested. The man in black takes the goblets, turns his back, and a moment later he turns again. He drops the packet. It's empty.
All right. Where? Nope, this side. Oh, where is the poison? The battle of wits has begun. It ends when you decide and we both drink and find out who is right and who is dead. But it's so simple. All I have to do is divine from what I know of you. Are you the sort of man who would put the poison into his own goblet or his enemies? Now, a clever man would put the poison into his own goblet because he would know that only a great fool would reach for what was given. And I am not a great fool, clearly. So I can clearly not choose the wine in front of you. But you must have known I was not a great fool, so you would have counted on it. So I can clearly not choose the wine in front of me. You've made your decision then. Not remotely. Because iocane powder comes from Australia. As everyone knows, and Australia is populated entirely by criminals.
True, still true.
The views expressed by this movie do not necessarily reflect the views of Kobolds or Ninth Level Games.
Kobolds Incorporated.
I mean, all the ones I've met, crooks, all of them.
Yo, not cool, man.
Vegemite stealing crooks. Anyway, and criminals are used to having people not trust them, so as you are not trusted by me, so I can clearly not choose the wine in front of you. Truly, you have a dizzying intellect. Wait till I get going! Where was I? Australia. Yes! Australia! And you would have suspected that I knew that. That I would have known the powder's origin, so I can clearly not choose the wine in front of me. You're just stalling now. You'd like to think that, wouldn't you? You've beaten my giant, which means you're exceptionally strong. So you could have put the poison in your own goblet, trusting on your strength to save you. So I can clearly not choose the wine that is in front of you. But you have also bested my Spaniard, which means you must have studied. And in studying, you must have learned that man is mortal. So you would have put the poison as far from you as you can. So I can clearly not choose the wine in front of me. You're trying to get me, to trick me into giving away something. It won't work. It has worked! You've given everything away! I know where the poison is! Oh, fool's courage. Make your choice. I will. And I choose. What in the world could that be?
Cut 2. Men in black turning around looking.
What? Where? I don't see anything.
Bassini switches glasses!
Well, I could have sworn that I saw something. I mean, I mean, I didn't see anything. What's so funny? Oh, I'll tell you in a minute. Hang on. First, let's drink. You, from your glass, and me, from my glass. Blurk, 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 blurk.
They do that. Bassini hesitates. He watches. He sees him drink. He's like, "Oh man, I nailed this SOB." He chugs it.
You guessed wrong. You only think I guessed wrong. Oh, that's so funny. I switched glasses when your back was turned. You fool. You fell victim to one of the classic blunders. The most famous is never get involved in a land war in Asia, but only slightly less well known is never go in against the Sicilian when death is on the line. Ha 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 ha!
Falls over dead.
Falls over dead. Never trust the Sicilian. That's what I got from this movie. This movie hates Italians and Spaniards.
Yeah,
And
not cool. And Australians.
No, that makes sense. Anyway, the Man in Black pulls Buttercup to her feet.
Who are you?
I am no one to be trifled with. That is all you ever need know.
To think, all that time it was your cup that was poisoned.
Oh, they were both poisoned. I spent the last few years building up an immunity to iocane powder.
And with that, they go. And then it's the mountain pass. Everybody's passed out. It's where Fessick was, and Humperdinck is there.
Red, yellow, leather, yellow.
Inspecting every grain of misplaced sand. The others wait behind him.
Someone has beaten the giant. Ah! There will be great suffering in Gilder if she dies. Ha ha!
Cut to Man in Black and Buttercup.
Catch your breath.
If you release me, whatever you ask for ransom, you'll get it. I promise you.
And what is it worth, the promise of a woman? You're very funny, Highness.
Come on, man.
Was giving you a chance. No matter where you take me, there's no greater hunter than Prince Humperdinck. He could track a falcon on a cloudy day. He can find you.
You think your dearest love will save you?
I never said he was my dearest love. And yes, he will save me. That I know.
You admit to me that you do not love your fiancé.
He knows I do not love him.
You are not capable of love, is what you mean.
I have loved more deeply than a killer like yourself could ever dream.
He gonna hit her. But he don't hit her.
That was a warning, Highness. The next time my hand flies on its own. From where I come from, there are penalties for when a woman lies.
If you hit me, I would kill you.
I'm gonna slap that bitch. I'm gonna slap him if he thinks he can come up in here and smack Buttercup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cut to Bassini's body. The picnic is spread as before. This is a great line. Go.
Iocane. I'd bet my life on it.
But he sniffs it. But how does he know it's iocane if it's odorless? And anyways, keep going.
And there are the princess's footprints. She is alive, or was an hour ago. If she is otherwise when I find her, I shall be very put out.
Back to Man in Black and Buttercup.
Yeah. Below, the ravine floor is flat, but getting there would be half the fun. Rest, Highness.
I know who you are. Your cruelty reveals everything. You're the dread pirate Roberts. Admit it.
Bowing.
With pride. What can I do for you?
You can die slowly, cut into 1,000 pieces.
Yeah.
Hardly complimentary, Your Highness. Why loose your venom on me?
You killed my love.
It is possible. I'll kill a lot of people. Who was this love of yours? Another prince like this one? Ugly, rich, scabby?
No. A farm boy. Poor and perfect, with eyes like the sea after a storm. On the high seas, your ship attacked, and the dread pirate Roberts never takes prisoners.
I can't afford to take exceptions. Once word leaks out that a pirate has gone soft, people begin to disobey you, and then it's nothing but work, work, work all the time.
You mock my pain!
Life is pain, Highness! Anyone who says differently is selling something. I remember this farm boy of yours, I think. This would be 5 years ago. Does it bother you to hear?
Nothing you can say will upset me.
He died well. That should please you. No bribe attempts or blubbering. He simply said, please, I need to live. It was the please that caught my memory. I asked him what's so important for him. True love, he replied. And then he spoke of a girl of surpassing beauty and faithfulness. I can only assume he meant you. You should bless me for destroying him before he found out what you really are.
And what am I?
Faithfulness, he talked of, madam. Your enduring faithfulness. Now tell me truly, when you found out he was gone, did you get engaged to your prince that same hour? Or did you wait a whole week out of respect for the dead?
You mocked me once. Never do it again. I died that day.
The man in black is about to reply as they stand there on the edge of the ravine, and suddenly something catches his attention as he stares up greatly. Cuff 2, his POV, the dust cloud caused by Humperdinck's horses rising up the cloud. Cut to Buttercup. While the tension is on the dust cloud, rising high, she pushes him with all the strength she has.
You could die too, for all I care.
The man in black teeters at the ravine edge for a moment and begins to fall. Down goes the man in black.
You wish.
I stare transfixed at what I have wrought. Oh, my sweet Wesley, what have I done?
Without
I
a second
throw
thought.
myself down.
A moment later, she too is falling, spinning and twisted, crashing, torn, cartwheeling down what is left of her beloved. The rising dust cloud pull back to reveal Humperdinck and the others right at the spot where Buttercup promised ransom in exchange for her freedom. The prince shakes his head.
Disappeared. He must have seen us closing in, which might account for his panicking and error. Unless I'm wrong. And I am never wrong. They are headed dead into the fire swamp. Fire swamp, fire swamp, fire swamp.
Cut to the fire swamp.
We look like corpses on the ground.
All right. We've just come up upon the hour mark, and I think we cut this and we return to this wonderful piece of cinema next time
Yeah.
Here on Meanster Peace Theater.
Bum-ba-da-bum.
Into the fire swamp. Fire.
Guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is great, but we need more hats.
Yeah, I mean, I you know, the hats would be great, but I you know, this is already it's already a lot.
Yeah, but like what I'm saying, like sometimes when you're the Count and you're Humperdinck, and like you gotta switch hats.
The Count and Humperdinck are the same person.
Mm-mm.
No,
I'm the Count.
no, they're different characters.
I am the six-fingered man. See, look, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, you mean Count Rugen?
4,
Yeah.
5.
And like I'll put a
I have
flower
6
on my
fingers.
head for Buttercup, and I think I'm the priest later, and maybe I could get a baseball cap to be a kid.
A baseball cap?
I said baseball, I just said it weird.
Baseball.
Baseball.
All
Oh, baseball is actually a real game. It's when you play baseball in a flooded basement, but you drink Bass, the beer, while you're doing it.
I'm there. Set it up.
All right, everybody. Hey, next time.